I want that to be a lesson to people out there, right? Whoever else has ever dated someone that's in the limelight, how do you feel? How do you keep your jealousy in check?
It's about acceptance. Will you accept who I am, the way I am, how I function, and be real about it?
Let me tell you, people always trying to tear down what you got.
Yes.
I don't need to know your personal business if it doesn't benefit me, but when we have business together, such as what we do on this panel, then we share what we need to share.
For any guy that I date, I first let them know, like, I'm dating you for you.
Yes. Here we go. Another single on Saturday night. And if you look down the road, ain't nothing but all men today. It's the all men panel discussing the sexual miseducation of black men. But before we get into that, I am Mr. Goodnight with my co-host, my brother, T.C. Cartwell.
Yes, sir. BKA Storm E. Weathers. You know what it is. If I can't do it, it probably can't be done, baby. And today, we're going to start.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, right here on Single on Saturday Night, we're going to bring to you the Philadelphia Model Guild.
And they are ready. Our first model is Antoinette. Antoinette is wearing a sweater dress. It was hand painted and it goes lovely with her outfit. This is a Miss Antoinette. Next we have Semenia. Semenia is a pageant winner, and like all women, we like to dress up. She's wearing a red sequins gown that matches her crown and her earrings. This is Semenia. Miss Classic World Pageant. Next we have Lena, sophisticated and ready for work. She's in her pearl earrings, pearl necklace, her all black and her red. This is Lena. And we have our up-to-date tutu wearer. She is wearing denim and tutu along with leather pants and leather boots. And sequins. Antoinette. Miss Semenia, Miss Lena, and Monica. Monica and Antoinette are part of Single on a Saturday Night.
Single on Saturday Night, my brother, Mr. Goodnight.
That's what we talking about.
The professor. I am T.C. Caldwell, BKA, your big homie, Stormy Weathers, and we are here today talking about the sexual miseducation of black men in America, and we have an all-male panel today, and we also have the author of this phenomenal piece of work, Mr. A.B. Bracewell. How you feel, good brother?
I feel good.
Let's go.
Thanks for having me.
Now, what we like to do is we like to have everybody introduce themselves. So since we did our introduction, we like to go on down line. Which way you want to start, bro?
Start on the center.
Start down the right.
Introduce yourself.
The right is always right.
Kenyatta Reed, host of Let's Talk Love and Life.
My name is Wop. Don't have anything I'm hosting or books, anything like that. So,
A.B. Bracewell, author, therapist, also started the Ready for Relationship Consulting.
Oh, all right. True. Nari Charles, your favorite coach's favorite coach, also the host of the Life Be Lifing and Two Kings 215 podcast.
And Maurice Bush, the host of the My Brother show, partner in ministry with AB and contributor to the book.
We got a lot of brothers.
Got a lot of brothers, right?
They say brothers don't want to talk about anything, but listen to the brothers on the panel. We got shows going on, ministry going on.
It's like single women looking for a man. If you ain't looking in the right place, you ain't gonna find what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, let's go.
So we're going to get into this book. Now, AB, that title jumps out: The Sexual Miseducation of Black Men in America. Number one, I want to talk about what made you decide to write the book and get into with the background of what the book truly gets into before I start sharing what I've read. All right?
Well, I wrote the book because a lot of what we learned about for black men about sex has been destructive, it's been toxic, it's been a lot of misinformation. And I think that has led us to value ourselves wrong. We've been taught to value ourselves by the amount of women that we sleep with and how well we perform in the bedroom. And so the aim of the book is to teach men and young boys proper way to value their manhood. My goal is to explore like some of the psychological, the emotional, the relational impact that the sexual miseducation has had on us and how it affects every part of our life, from beginning to end, from boyhood up to adulthood. Another goal of the book was to help parents to raise their young men, their prince, into that position of king. So, there's a lot of guidance, a lot of advice, a lot of solutions in the book as well. So it's not only about pointing out the ways we was miseducated about sex, but I add some solutions in there as well to help the young men.
So maybe go into a couple of the things that we are sexually miseducated about, that people like women need to understand, even men need to understand. What do you definitely want to put out there to say, you know what, here's one of the main things. What's the main thing that we're miseducated about?
Well, I'll say I have interviewed at least 100 guys for this book. And I asked all of them, what's the foundation of your sexual education? And the majority of them said that pornography was one of the main source, one of the main teachers of what they learned about sex. And when you think of pornography and what it teaches us, it creates a certain script in our mind about sex. It teaches us aggressiveness. It teaches us how to be more selfish, more misogynistic. It doesn't teach us anything about intimacy and relationship and connection. So when we take that script and we audition every woman that we meet in our lives with that same script, we expect them to do exactly what we watched on the screen. We expect to do what we watch on the screen. So that doesn't feed and it doesn't nurture healthy relationships. It usually leads to the destruction of them.
And Storm, when I was growing up, I wasn't watching pornography. I was going by what I was told. And like, what's the difference between being told and what you learn? Like I was told, and I said, all right, that's what I was supposed to do.
And I agree with that. That was a situation growing up as well. I was told about a lot of things, but then unfortunately I discovered pornography. So yeah, I'm be honest. I was young, finding stuff I wasn't supposed to find, and again, still not understanding what I was looking for, other than, oh, that's what I used to watch my brothers doing with their girlfriends. They didn't care if I was in the room a couple times. Like, yo, for real? Oh, okay. And that was where it started. So it took, honestly, and I'll be actually honest with you, it actually took being around my sisters a little more to understand what engaging in conversation and affection and interaction really was. I always say my brothers taught me how to mac, but my sisters taught me how to love. So when I got old enough to recognize the difference, I started realizing, just like Brother Bracewell is saying, that we're taught the wrong things first and then have to sometimes go back and correct it. And for some of us, it never gets corrected. Some of us, it just never gets corrected. So we always try to find a way, like I said, because my first question would always be, did we get here from experience or from conversation? How did we go through whatever it was that we went through? Did we go through it because of being in a particular experience? Again, some people have been miseducated because they've been touched inappropriately when they were young. Many know that I deal with thousands and thousands of youth in this city, and that is an underlying theme for most of where the aggression and some of the behaviors, promiscuity and behaviors come from, because they were taught wrong, because someone that was supposed to love them and teach them and take care of them and nurture them were abusing them and disrespecting them in the most high fashion.
The gentleman on the panel, anybody want to comment on something as you're looking back on your history that you were miseducated about? Any of your brothers want to speak on it?
For me, the basic miseducation was the more women you sleep with, the more of a man you are. You see all the, I grew up in North Philly, so you see all the drug dealers. It's girls out there we know don't belong out there, but they all out there because it's a certain dude you get the misconception that, oh, he got to be sleeping with all them. They come see him every day. You know what I mean? You got your family, your cousins, uncles, and everything. Everybody, oh, you kissed a girl? Yeah. How many girlfriends you got now? You know, just that, you know, and they could have just been joking, but as a kid, you're not sure if that's a joke or not. So you thinking, I guess I got to get me more girlfriends or something. So that was the miseducation for me.
Anybody else? Shit. I got the miseducation that sexual performance is where your value was. Like, you know, starting off, you know, you pretty young, you a teenager, like having sex with other teenagers that don't know about sex, but they have it in their heads because they've overheard from aunties. They've been miseducated as well. So they heard from aunties and older cousins and other girls how a dude's supposed to make you feel like this and that and the other. And then these girls, you know, came to me telling me that that's what the expectation's supposed to be. So I'm thinking that's the validation, not so much my personality. I had a great personality, but that don't matter if, you know what I mean, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do with that one individual part of my body.
I think for me it was being told the numbers game. And what I mean by the numbers game was, you know, I was told by men early on, you know, there's 10 women for every guy, but then you separate the guys on drugs, the ones that's in jail. Now you up to 15, 16. Then my attitude started to be, well, maybe I need to try to find my 16.
I'm going to take my share.
Compared, and it made me selfish with myself as far as being in a legitimate, intimate, serious relationship, because I was so worried about making sure I met my 16 that were meant for me.
And I would definitely agree to that, because when we were coming up initially, it was seven, like you said, it was 7 or 8, and then you take away those other guys, and then the way the city was growing, and again, being young and dumb, oh, for real, is that many? Well, I'm going to get mine. Brother, I hope you get yours, because I'm going to get mine. And as the King just said, we have children that are engaging in sexual behaviors, and they don't understand the psychological effect of that. They don't understand the potential physical effect that comes from that. Because with all the children I work with, I said, listen, this is the best time of your life because you're living on somebody else's dime. All you have to do is go to school and make your family happy. Play a little ball, do a little sports, have some friends, socialize. I always stress to my daughter, I know what's going to happen. It's natural. Your hormones kick in. People get attractive. Whatever you like, whoever you like. I'm going to tell you now, if you have to stop and question yourself, did daddy want me doing this? You probably shouldn't. Because it was different for me. I never got put into a position to think, what my daddy going to say? Because we never had those conversations. With my mother, it was, don't bring no babies in this house. Oh, that's all I have to do? Oh, I just got to not bring a baby in the house. So we had to find a way to not play that numbers game and not be caught up. But then we also have to find ways to have these conversations, because it's natural. It's natural for teenagers to be curious. It's natural for youngsters to want to be involved. But what conversation are they having about what's acceptable as an adult to a child and the responsibilities of what come to that? Who's having those conversations to keep our children from being miseducated?
And then we talk about men. If a woman wants to know anything about a man, ask men.
Ask a man.
Your girlfriend can't help you. You know, they can tell you about their relationships and things, people they've been involved with, but you gotta ask men. But I always stress that every woman needs to have a man that will tell them the truth about themselves and also tell them the truth about men. But here's the big part. That person can't be sexually attracted to you.
Can't be sexually involved.
Can't be sexually attracted to you. That's the only way you're gonna get wholesome truth. Now, AB, in the book you had a thing called Stop Chasing Women and Start Chasing Dreams as a chapter. You want to talk briefly about that, what you meant by that concept?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I always say, show me a man that's chasing women, and I'll show you a man that's not chasing his dreams. I think when we're younger, even as we get older, we waste a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of resources chasing sex. Not only women, chasing sex.
Talk heavy.
And we end up, as we get older, regretting the years that we wasted. Sometimes I can compare my life to the life of others that I know settled down and got married earlier, and not out of jealousy, but just out of a comparison. I see how far you can make it when you decide to settle down, get married with a good woman, the things y'all can build together and achieve, opposed to those of us that decided to, spend our money getting the fanciest cars, going to the club every weekend, just collecting all those things that we knew would attract women in order to have sex. So I always told young men, find your purpose, And, try to come up with a dream and go after that. The women are going to be there. But, even if the woman is going to be there, the best thing is to find one good one. And don't worry about the women that's there. Find one good one and build with her. So, yeah, I think we just waste a lot of time with that.
Things get hard, though, but Storm, think about when you, as an educated man, you get your share of attention, you're involved in film and television.
No, let's go back before that, before we go to this break. Let's go back before that. Because I like what Brother Bracewell was saying. King Bracewell was talking about having things and things that were attractive. I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't had nothing. I was broke. But I was athletic, I worked out, and I talked. I had conversation. And before that, I was always on stage performing at some point in my life. Been doing this since I was 6, but to the degree of where we are now, it just wasn't there. But I think we up against a break. So what we going to do right about now?
We're going to come back with the sexual miseducation of black men and get into some deeper topics, deeper discussions. So we'll be right back. Single on Saturday night, panel of men. Anything you want to know? Today is that day.
Let's go. Talk to him. We are back, and we are back some more. Today's all-male panel right here on Single on a Saturday night with our author, A.B. Bracewell, and the sexual miseducation of black men in America. We was having a little conversation about something going to a break, and it decided we was going to switch off because the brother down the end said he wanted to talk about some foundations about what he learned while we were here, because we were talking about how we got to this point. So talk to the folks. Let them know where you were coming from, bro.
Well, how we got to the point of what, miseducation? I think that, for myself, no one taught me anything. No one taught, I didn't have a conversation, but I had a lot of sisters. And I feel like you said this earlier, you didn't know how to love and understand love until you start being more around their sisters and getting that aspect compared to being around your brothers. So I got there early on. And I don't want to say I was like a tender, as they say that word, that I was real vulnerable and all that, but I learned a little bit about what women wanted, and I kind of used that, because nobody told me how to use that special power. It's a power, and understanding how to communicate and know what women want. So I used that, and that got me sex, especially at a I guess right around college. I had a girlfriend. I was trying to be faithful, and then when I realized that wasn't going well for me, I was able to use a lot of stuff that I taught from my sisters. That's my sisters taught me. And I feel that when it came to intimacy, I seen my friends, my male friends on the other hand, from North Philly, as he said, running trains on girls and doing all this crazy stuff. And I'm sitting there, I'm conflicted. Like, am I supposed to be doing this over here? Or am I supposed to be doing what these women telling me I need to be doing? And I'm kind of like in the middle trying to figure out how can I be faithful? How can I have these conversations? What do I really need? And I don't know anything. And the porn, as AB mentioned, didn't help because that's kind of how I was introduced by looking at my dad's magazines and walking in on my mom and dad and looking at these books that I didn't understand and looking through the squiggly lines on the Spice Channel and late night Cinemax. You know what I mean? It's all over the place. And it took so long to kind of center that in, probably not until about 25, 26, I started to really realize, what the hell am I really doing out here? And then that took another 5, 6 years to try to figure out what the hell am I really doing out here. But the way I came into it, it was all confusion. And I had to kind of figure that out. I was lucky to have women in my life, even though there was a lot of emotions behind some of the stuff I was taught, I was able to figure it all out just by understanding. And I don't want to agree with everything a woman say, everything a woman need. I just want to understand her. So it was so much emotions coming. I said, you know what, at least if I can get understanding, and I can start from somewhere.
And we appreciate that. Give it up for the bro. Give it up. Well, while he said understanding and what the ladies say, we're going to take it to the audience because there's nowhere in the world we can have this all-male show. Shelly not be on the microphone and not galvanize some folks to have some questions, some engagement, some conversation. So we're going to take it to the audience. If you don't mind, bro, you can pass that out to the audience. We're going to let it fire off right here, starting now.
Thank you so much. Hey, everybody, what's going on? It's Shelly Shell. But listen, I just could not sit here. So the sexual miseducation of black men in America. Listen, what is this supposed to do? How can this help the women? You're talking to the men about this. Has this changed? You said you interviewed, most of these men. Has it changed the trajectory of how they treat the women? Because it seems like everybody's single, right? No, everybody's single.
So let's run it down. Let's run it down.
Amen. Because I need to know. I see no rings. I see no rings.
Married.
I've been in a relationship for about a year and a half now.
Single.
Involved.
Committed relationship.
Very single.
Very complicated.
You got a whole spectrum of everything.
Very honest.
Okay.
Thank you for being honest, but how is this? Did this change any of you in any way? Did the education of what AB is giving you in here? Did it change the way you treat a relationship? Did it change the way you're doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been going through some rocky waters in my relationship, honestly speaking. And last week we had the official book release was last week, and we had a panel discussion. And in that panel, we talked about how pursuing women can distract you from accomplishing your own goals. And I came out of there and I realized, like, last year I had a rough year, like 5 really close people to me passed away, including my mom and my pastor. And I realized, like, you haven't been doing your show, you haven't been praying, you haven't been going to church. All you do is sit around and you're mad at this woman, or you're on the phone with one of your friends, and you come out of this panel and I'm like, yo, I'm so distracted from accomplishing my goals right now. I'm going to focus on my goals, and that's more attractive to women, and to my understanding, than anything. A man that knows what he wants, a man that's walking in his purpose. And what I've done, I reached out to a college and got an application to go for my master's so I could become a counselor. I got an offer for a new job yesterday. And this is all within a week of me deciding, you know what, I'm not focusing on this relationship bothering me. I'm focusing on my goals right now. I'm in the process of re-enrolling in college for my master's. I just got a new job offer. I have a thing where I text my friends, I love you all the time. I was just telling him, like, I'm getting back to doing that, sending my I love you text messages. I'm getting back to my purpose because I'm not distracted by pursuing these women and things like that. So it's absolutely helpful. And then that's something you're able to pass on to the next generation, to pass on to your brothers. You can hold them accountable. Most of these guys up here, like I said, we have years in friendship. And it's just incredible that we're able to hold one another accountable and seek our goals together.
But from this side, it's saying you're seeking. It's sounding like you're saying that because I'm seeking the woman, I'm distracted. But isn't it possible to be able to seek your goals and still be in a great committed relationship where you're both seeking goals? Because it sounds from what it sounded like. It was like Nick's hub. I gotta do me, but that's what it sounded like.
Listen, see, and this is where we say. If you want to know, there you go. Do that part. If you want to know, listen. Because he made it clear things were going wrong, things were bad. He said, you know what? Maybe I was putting too much into trying to make this work and wasn't making the things that I need to make work for me that maybe will make that. Because he said, I understand that women like that. When a man will chase his goals and find his purpose, and that will make him do well. Because if he can do well for himself, he can do well for her. So he can include her into that growing and putting together.
Where my shift came in was, you know how we grew up, we all talked about women want money, women want money. As I got older, I realized a woman don't want my money. What she really wants is my salary. Let me explain salary. She don't want my money, she want my salary. The S is security. The A is affection. The L is love. The other A is attention. And the most important thing with the Y is she wants you, meaning she wanted me. And I didn't understand that. I was caught up in that other part. Now I understand.
Wait. For the people like me that watch everything and pick everything apart, give me that R, bro, because we missed the R.
Respect. The respect.
Okay, respect. Okay, I got you.
Respect.
My man was on a rule. I want to hit that rock and all the apple carts fall over.
Yeah, it was security, attention, love, affection, respect, and that Y is the hardest thing most guys can't give is the you, meaning she just wanted me.
Okay.
And I didn't understand that.
I got another one from the audience.
Question from the audience.
I have a kind of a different experience. I grew up really with little education about sexuality. and very, very shy growing up and getting older and not really having any experience until college. And that was very minimal. So then I started to hang out with some friends of mine, and my education, or maybe miseducation, was actually at the strip club with black women. And actually they taught me a lot about enjoyment of sex, great sex, diversity, enjoyment, how to communicate, and I gained a lot of confidence through the women at the club.
Wonderful. Clap it up. Clap it up. I'm with you on that. I have a question. So wait a minute, because I have a question.
Get that question up, Storm.
How much did those lessons cost you?
The salary.
I'm gonna say that because this is family right here, and all the shy stuff we don't see it when he's singing because he get up here singing his face off at the daytime karaoke party. So I think a lot of us got that lesson too, bro. It was just somebody else because
I wanted to kind of bounce off of what Shelly said earlier, then you all responded. But it's crazy because I just had a conversation with a friend of mine the other day because I had to kind of do the same thing as far as refocusing my energy. And what we came up with, and the woman made me mad, I don't know. I want to say it the right way, but it might come off wrong, but just listen and see if you can get something out of what I'm about to say. A man's happiness, a man doesn't really care if his woman is happy, right? He cares that she's happy, but what makes her happy doesn't necessarily makes him happy. She can get a new job, she can do all these great things. He can say, great, I congratulate you, that's what's up. But he can get a new job, he can go back to school, and she's excited because she see what it provides for him, knowing that's going to return to her. So the happiness of your man is a little more important to the foundation and the relationship. The happiness of the woman is cool, but it doesn't necessarily do anything for us. If you get more money, it's great, but it's not really something that really matters to me. I'm just happy because you happy. But if I get more money, or if the things that happen great in my life, is going to always be a return that makes her just as happy as I'm happy because it inputs into the relationship. I just wanted to say that.
All right. Well, we're going to get ready to get to the point where we go back to A.B. Bracewell. Brother, we definitely appreciate you for putting this work together. This information is definitely helpful and insightful. But let the folks know, give them your background, how they can find you, how they can purchase the book, how they can stay connected to follow about the miseducation of black men in America.
All right, you could find me on my website. It's readyforrelationship.com. That's the number 4. Before I go into that, can I just add something real quick?
Sure. To
answer Shelly's question, you asked, what have brothers learned from this book, or how has it changed? And I was just having a conversation with a brother last night that was at the book release, and he sat through the panel, and he was telling me how he had a young lady at his house Thursday night, a regular that he usually comes out and they have casual, meaningless sex, but last night he decided that he couldn't go through it. And then he said, I couldn't go through it because I realized I was functioning through my trauma. And I think that's something that we often do as men when it comes to sex. We use sex as therapy. Whether we're depressed, we're angry, if we're feeling broke, if we're feeling lonely, abandoned, we have been taught that sex is the healing for that. And we usually turn to women and we end up bleeding on them. And then we'll walk away or we'll take off the bandage when we feel better. So I don't know if he read that chapter or not, but I know he was at the panel and he had the book on his bookshelf. So I'm just hoping that just hearing what we were saying helped him change what he regularly would do with this young lady. So I just wanted to respond to that. But
thank you.
Yeah, readyforrelationship.com is the website, and you can find me on IG at readyforrelationship as well.
And make sure y'all go ahead and get the book. Get this information. Thank you, brother, for joining us. Thank all the brothers on the panel for coming through. And as always, the 4th Saturday of every month, we are right here doing Single on a Saturday night, my brother.
All men's panel today, the sexual miseducation of black men. We want to see y'all every 4th Saturday. Special shout out to Miller's Ale House for hosting us. Yeah. We got Groove Boy Entertainment. Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, wait till you see us next week. Single on Saturday night.
Right here, baby.